Hi guys, I'm back. Today I'm going to read Jeremiah 21 to 25, Proverbs 9, and Psalm 134. Let's get started. This is the word that came to Jeremiah from the Lord when King Zedekiah sent him. Pasha the son of Malchiah and Zephaniah the priest, the son of Matthiah, saying, Inquire of the Lord for us, for Nebuchadnezzar king of Babylon is making war against us. Perhaps the Lord will deal with us according to all his wonderful deeds, and will make him withdraw from us. Then Jeremiah said to him, Thus ye shall say to Zedekiah, Thus says the Lord, the God of Israel, Behold, I will turn back the weapons of war that are in your hands, and with which you are fighting against the king of Babylon, and against the Chaldeans, who are besieging you outside the walls. And I will bring them together into the midst of the city. I myself will fight against you with outstretched hand and strong arm, in anger and in fury and in great wrath. And I will strike down the inhabitants of this city, both man and beast. They shall die of a great pestilence. Afterward, declares the Lord, I will give Zedekiah the king of Judah and his servants and the people of the city who shall survive the pestilence, sword, and famine into the hand of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, and into the hand of their enemies, into the hand of those who seek their lives. He shall strike them down with the edge of the sword. He shall not pity them or spare them or have compassion. And to this people you shall say, Thus says the Lord, Behold, I set you before the way of life and the way of death. You stays in this city shall die by the sword, by famine and by pestilence. And he who goes out and surrenders to the Chaldeans who are besieging you shall live and shall have his life as a prize of war. For I have set my face against the city for harm and not for good, declares the Lord. It shall be given into the hand of the king of Babylon, and he shall burn it with fire. And to the house of the king of Judah shall the king of Judah say, Hear the word of the Lord, O house of David. Thus says the Lord, Execute justice in the morning, and deliver from the hand of the oppressor him who is being robbed. Lest my wrath go forth like fire, and burn with none to quench it, because of your evil deeds. Behold, I am against you, O inhabitant of the valley, O rock of the plain, declares the Lord. You who say, Who shall come down against us, or who shall enter our habitations? I will punish you according to the fruit of your deeds, declares the Lord. I will kindle a fire in her forest, and it shall devour all that is around her. Thus says the Lord, Go down to the house of the king of Judah and speak there this word, and say, Hear the word of the Lord, O king of Judah, who sits on the throne of David, you and your servants, and your people who enter these gates. Thus says the Lord, Do justice and righteousness, and deliver from the hand of the oppressor him who is being robbed, and do no wrong or violence to the resident alien, the fatherless, and the widow, nor shed innocent blood in this place. For if you will indeed obey this word, then there shall enter the gate of this house kings who sit on the throne of David, riding in chariots and on horses, they and their servants, and their people. But if you will not obey these words, I swear for myself, declares the Lord, that this house shall become a desolation. But thus says the Lord concerning the house of the king of Judah. You are like Gilead to me, like the summit of Lebanon. Yet surely I will make you a desert, an uninhabited city. I will prepare destroyers against you, each with his weapons, and they shall cut down your choicest cedars and cast them into the fire. Then many nations will pass by the city, and every man will say to his neighbor, Why has the Lord dealt thus with this great city? And they will answer, Because they have forsaken the covenant of the Lord their God, and worshipped other gods, and served them. Weep not for him who is dead, nor grieve for him, and weep bitterly for him who goes away. For he shall return no more to see his native land. For thus says the Lord concerning Shallum the son of Josiah, king of Judah, who reigned instead of Josiah his father, and who went away from this place. He shall return here no more, but in the place where they have carried him captive, and there shall he die, and he shall never see this land again. Woe to him who builds his house by unrighteousness, and his upper rooms by injustice, who makes his neighbor serve him for nothing, and does not give him his wages, and who says, I will build myself a great house with spacious upper rooms. He cuts out windows, paneling it with cedar, in painting it with vermilion. Do you think you are a king because you compete instead of? Did not your father eat and drink and do right, justice and righteousness? Then it was well with him. He judged the cause of the poor and needy. Then it was well. And is not this to me, declares the Lord, and you have eyes and heart only for your dishonest gain, for shedding innocent blood, and for practicing oppression and violence. Therefore thus says the Lord concerning Jehoiakim, the son of Josiah, king of Judah, and they shall not lament for him, saying, Ah, my brother, or Ah, my sister. They shall not lament for him, saying, Ah, Lord, or Ah, his majesty. With the burden of a donkey he shall be buried, dragged and dumped beyond the gates of Jerusalem. Go up to the Lebanon and cry out. Then lift up your voice in Bashan, and cry out from Abiram, for all your lovers are destroyed. I spoke to you in your prosperity, but you said, I will not listen. This has been your way from your youth, that you have not obeyed my voice. The wind shall shepherd all your shepherds, and your lovers shall go into captivity. Then you will be ashamed and confounded because of all your evil. An inhabitant of Lebanon, nested among the sedge, how you will be pitied when pangs come upon you, pain as of a woman in labor. As I live, declares the Lord, through Coniah, the son of Jehoiakim, king of Judah, wear the signet ring on my right hand. Yet I will tear you off and give you into the hand of those who seek your life, into the hand of those of whom you are afraid, even into the hand of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, and into the hand of the Chaldeans. I will hurl you and the mother who bore you into another country, where you were not born, and there you shall die, but to the land to which they will long to return. There they shall not return. Is this man Coniah a despised broken pot, a vessel no one cares for? Why are he and his children hurled and cast into a land they do not know? Land into land. Hear the word of the Lord. Thus says the Lord, write this man down as childless, a man who shall not succeed in his days. For none of his offspring shall succeed in sitting on the throne of David, and ruling again in Judah. Woe to the shepherds who destroy and scatter the sheep of my pasture, declares the Lord. Therefore thus says the Lord, the God of Israel, concerning the shepherds who care for my sheep. You have scattered my flock and have driven them away, and you have not attended to me. Behold, I will attend to you for your evil deeds, declares the Lord. Then I will gather the remnant of my flock out of all the countries where I have driven them, and I will bring them back to their fold, and they shall be fruitful and multiply. I will set shepherds over them who will care for them, and they shall fear no more, nor be dismayed. Neither shall any be missing, declares the Lord. Behold, the days are coming, declares the Lord. And I will raise up for David a righteous branch, and he shall reign as king and deal wisely, and shall execute justice and righteousness over the land. In its days Judah will be safe, and Israel will dwell secure, and this is the name by which he will be called. The Lord is our righteousness. Therefore, behold, the days are coming, declares the Lord, when they shall no longer say, As the Lord lives who brought up the people of Israel out of the land of Egypt, but as the Lord lives who brought up and led the offspring of the house of Israel out of the north countries, and out of all the countries, and where he had driven them. Then they shall dwell in their own land. Concerning the prophets, my heart is broken with me, all my bones shake. I am like a drunken man, like a man overcome by wine, because of the Lord, and because of his holy word. For the land is full of adulteries, because of the curse the land moans, and the pastures of the wilderness are dried up. Their course is evil, and their might is not right. Might is not right. Both prophet and priest are ungodly. Even in my house I offend their evil, declares the Lord. Therefore their way shall be to them like slippery paths in the darkness, in which they shall be driven and fall. For I will bring disaster upon them in the year of their punishment, declares the Lord. In the prophets of Samaria I saw an unsavory thing. They prophesied by Baal and led my people Israel astray. In the prophets of Jerusalem I have seen a horrible thing. They commit adultery and walk in lies. They strangle in the hands of evildoers, so that no one turns from his evil. All of them have become like Sodom too, and its inhabitants like Gomorrah. Therefore thus says the Lord of hosts concerning the prophets, Behold, I will feed them with bitter food, and give them poisoned water to drink. For from the prophets of Jerusalem ungodliness is gone out into all the land. So thus says the Lord of hosts, do not listen to the words of the prophets who prophesy to you, filling you with vain hopes. They speak visions of their own mind, nor from the mouth of the Lord. They say continually to those who despise the word of the Lord, "It shall be well with thee," and to everyone who stubbornly follows his own heart. They say, "No disaster shall come upon thee." For who among them has stood in the counsel of the Lord to see and to hear his word, or who has paid attention to his word and listened? Behold, the storm of the wrath has gone forth, the whirling tempest. It will burst open the head of the wicked. The anger of the Lord will not turn back until he has executed and accomplished the intents of his heart. And in the latter days you will understand it clearly. I did not send the prophets, yet they read. I did not teach them, yet they prophesied. And if they had stood in my counsel, then they would have proclaimed my word to my people, and they would have turned them from the evil way, from the evil of their deeds. Am I a God at hand, declares the Lord, and not a God far away? Can a man hide himself in secret places so that I cannot see him, declares the Lord? Do I not fill heaven and earth, declares the Lord? I have heard what the prophets have said, who prophesy lies in my name, saying, I have dreamed. How long shall there be lies in my name, saying, I have dreamed. How long shall there be lies in the heart of the prophets who prophesy lies, and who prophesy the deceit of their own heart, who think to make my people forget my name by their dream? They tell one another, even as their fathers forgot my name for battle. Let the prophet who has a dream tell the dream. Let him who has my word speak my word faithfully. None has straw in common with wheat, declares the Lord. Is not my word like fire, declares the Lord, and like a hammer that breaks the rock in pieces? Therefore, behold, I am against the prophets, declares the Lord. You steal my words from one another. Behold, I am against the prophets, declares the Lord, who use their tongues and declare. He declares the Lord. Behold, I am against those who prophesy lying dreams, declares the Lord, and who tell them and lead my people astray by their lies and their recklessness, when I did not send them or charge them. So they do not profit this people at all, declares the Lord. And one of this people, or a prophet, or a priest, ask you, what is the burden of the Lord? You shall say to them, you are the burden, and I will cast you off, declares the Lord. But as for the prophet, priest, or one of the people who says, the burden of the Lord, I will punish that man and his household. Thus how you say, everyone to his neighbor, and everyone to his brother. One has the Lord answered, or one has the Lord spoken. But the burden of the Lord, you shall mention no more. For the burden is every man's own word. You pervert the words of the living God, and the Lord of hosts, our God. Thus you shall say to the prophet, when has the Lord answered you, or what has the Lord spoken? But if you say, the burden of the Lord, thus says the Lord, because you have said these words, the burden of the Lord, and I said to you, saying, you shall not say the burden of the Lord. Therefore, behold, I will surely lift you up and cast you away from my presence. You are the seed that I gave to you and your fathers, and I will bring you an everlasting reproach and perpetual shame, which shall not be forgotten. After Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, had taken into exile from Jeconiah and the sons of Jehoiakim came together with the officials of Judah, the craftsmen and the metal workers, and I brought them to Babylon. The Lord showed me this vision. Behold, 2 baskets of figs placed before the temple of the Lord. One basket had very good figs, like first ripe figs, but the other basket had very bad figs, so that they could not be eaten. And the Lord said to me, what do you see, Jeremiah? I said, figs, the good figs, very good, and the bad figs, very bad, so bad that they cannot be eaten. Then the Lord said to me, thus says the Lord, the God of Israel, like these good figs, so I will regard as good the exiles from Judah, whom I have sent away from this place to the land of the Chaldeans. I will set my eyes on them for good, and I will bring them back to this land. I will build them up and not tear them down. I will plant them and not pluck them up. And I will give them a heart to know that I am the Lord. And they shall be my people, and I will be their God. For they shall return to me with their whole heart. But thus says the Lord, like the bad figs, they are not so bad that they cannot be eaten. So will I treat Zedekiah, the king of Judah, his officials, the remnant of Jerusalem who remain in this land, and those who dwell in the land of Egypt. I'll make them a horror to all the kingdoms of the earth, to be a reproach, a byword, a taunt, and a curse in all the places where I shall drive them. And I will send sword, famine, and pestilence upon them, until they shall be utterly destroyed from the land that I gave to them and their fathers. The word that came to Jeremiah concerning all the people of Judah in the 4th year of Jehoiakim the son of Josiah, king of Judah, that was the first year of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, which Jeremiah the prophet spoke to all the people of Judah and all the inhabitants of Jerusalem for 23 years, from the 13th year of Josiah the son of Amon, king of Judah, to this day. The word of the Lord has come to me, and I have spoken persistently to you, but you have not listened. You have neither listened nor inclined your ears to hear. Although the Lord persistently sent to you always deeds and the law upon the land that the Lord has given to you and your fathers from of old and forever. Do not go after other gods, to serve and worship them, or provoke me to anger with the work of your hands. Then I will do you no harm. Yet you have not listened to me, declares the Lord. And you might provoke me to anger with the work of your hands to your own harm. Therefore thus says the Lord of hosts, because you have not obeyed my words, behold, I will send for all the tribes of the north, declares the Lord, and for Nebuchadnezzar the king of Babylon, myself, and I will bring them against this land and its inhabitants, and against all these surrounding nations. I will devote them to destruction, and make them a horror, a hissing, and everlasting desolation. Moreover, I will banish from them the voice of mirth, and the voice of gladness, and the voice of the bridegroom, and the voice of the bride, the grinding and the millstones, and the light of the lamp. This whole land shall become a ruin and a waste, and these nations shall serve the king of Babylon 70 years. Then after 70 years are completed, I will punish the king of Babylon and that nation, the land of the Chaldeans, for their iniquity, declares the Lord, making the land an everlasting waste. And I will bring upon that land all the words that I have uttered against it, everything written in this book, which Jeremiah prophesied against all the nations. For many nations and great kings shall make slaves even of them, and I will recompense them according to their deeds and the work of their hands. And thus says the Lord, said the God of Israel, said to me, take from my hand the cup of the wine of wrath, and make all the nations to whom I send you drink it. Then he shall drink and stagger, and be crazed because of the sword that I am sending among them. So I took the cup from the Lord's hand, and made all the nations that to whom the Lord sent me drink it. Jerusalem and the cities of Judah, its kings and officials, to make them a desolation and a waste, a hissing and a curse, as at this day. Pharaoh king of Egypt, his servants, his officials, all the people, and all the mixed tribes among them, Gaza, Ekron, and the remnant of Ashdod, Edom, Moab, and the sons of Ammon, all the kings of Tyre, all the kings of Sidon, and the kings of the coastline across the sea, Dedan, Tema, Buz, and all who cut the corners of their hair, and all the kings of Arabia, and all the kings of the mixed tribes who dwell in the desert, and all the kings of Zimri, all the kings of Elam, and all the kings of Media, all the kings of the north, afar and near, one after another, and all the kingdoms of the world that are on the face of the earth. And after them the king of Babylon shall drink. Then he shall say to them, thus says the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, drink, be drunk, and vomit, and fall and rise no more, because of the sword that I am sending among you. And if they refuse to accept the cup from your hand to drink, then you shall say to them, thus says the Lord of hosts, you must drink. For behold, I begin to work disaster at the sea that is called by my name. And shall you go unpunished? You shall not go unpunished. For I am summoning a sword against all the inhabitants of the earth, declares the Lord of hosts. You therefore shall prophesy against them all these words, and say to them, and the Lord will roar from on high, and from his holy habitation utter his voice. He will roar mightily against his foe, and shout like those who tread grapes against all the inhabitants of the earth. The clamor will resound to the ends of the earth, for the Lord has judgment against the nations. He is entering into judgment with all flesh, and the wicked he will put to the sword, declares the Lord. Thus says the Lord of hosts, behold, disaster is going forth from nation to nation, and a great tempest is stirring in the farthest parts of the earth. And those pierced by the Lord on that day shall extend from one end of the earth to the other. They shall not be lamented, or gathered, or buried. They shall be done on the surface of the ground. Wail, you shepherds, and cry, and roll in ashes, you lords of the flock. For all the days of your slaughter and dispersion have come, and you shall fall like a choice vessel, and their refuge will remain for the shepherds, nor escape from all the lords of the flock. For the Lord is laying waste their pasture, and the peaceful folds are devastated. Because of the fierce anger of the Lord, like a lion he left his lair. And for the land has become a waste, and because of the sword of the oppressor, and because of his fierce anger. Proverbs 9. Wisdom has built her house. She has hung her 7 pillars. She has slaughtered her beast. She has mixed her wine. She has roasted at her table. She has sent out her young woman to call from the highest places in the town. Whoever is simple, let him turn and hear. To him who lacks sense, she says, come, eat of my bread, and drink of the wine I have mixed. Leave your simple ways and live, and walk in the way of insight. Whoever corrects a scoffer gets himself abused, and he who reproves a wicked man incurs injury. Do not reprove a scoffer, or he will hate you. Reprove a wise man, and he will love you. Give instruction to a wise man, and he will be still wise. Teach a righteous man, and he will increase in learning. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the Holy One is insight. For by me your days will be multiplied, and years will be added to your life. If you are wise, you are wise for yourself. If you scoff, you alone will bear it. The woman folly is loud. She is seductive and knows nothing. She sits at the door of her house. She takes a seat on the highest places of the town, calling to those who pass by, who are going straight on their way. Whoever is simple, let him turn and hear. And to him who lacks sense, she says, strong water is sweet, and bread eaten in secret is pleasant. He does not know that the dead are there, that a guest are in the depths of Sheol. Psalm 134. Come, bless the Lord, all you servants of the Lord, who stand by at night in the house of the Lord. Lift up your hands to the holy place and bless the Lord. May the Lord bless you from Zion, he who made heaven and earth. Now thus done, I shall now do the Lord's prayer. Please bow your heads. Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us today our daily bread. Forgive us our debts as we also forgive our debtors. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from the evil one. For yours is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. See you tomorrow. Bye.